confidence is not a fluke. Confidence is a choice, and it begins with your mindset. In this podcast, you will get all sorts of mindset tools to help you reduce self criticism and overwhelm while increasing your empowerment and courage. I am passionate about helping women decrease their mental drama and increase their self awareness while leaving behind all the perfectionist tendencies. We do so by empowering ourselves one episode at a time. I am Olga, your host, former therapist, life coach, blissfully an IVF mother, and this is the Journey to Happy podcast. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Journey to Happy podcast. I'm Olga, your host, and today I have a very special guest. First of all, I met her when I was 4 years old, or maybe 5 years old. We went to the same school, and she's also Colombian. And life brought us together by coincidence as grown ups now in Canada, miles and miles away from where we grew up. And we just found each other, and it happened to be just before I had Mateo. I was pregnant. We reunited. She's been following me as well professionally, and she just finished taking Reset Your Mindset 12-week program. And her story, it's one to highlight, which is why she's in the podcast today. Not only because I have this long history with her as a known friend, but also because I think from all the things I've seen in the 12 weeks of coaching, Lina has done the most that I have, that I can account for in terms of gaining confidence and accomplishing things that she set her mind to, but also she's discovered so many more added values. She's had so many more added values that I don't even promise. I was just reading one of your forms and thinking, like, I'm going to add this to Reset. It improves your relationship with your husband in all ways, ladies, in all ways. So, welcome to the podcast, Lina. It's such a pleasure to have you here. I want you to maybe just briefly introduce yourself to the audience, like who you are, what you do, and just we dive in.
Okay. Thank you, Olga. Thank you for having me. Well, you said it. I am from Colombia. I have been here in Canada for 6 years. I studied microbiology. I have never really worked in the microbiology field. I have always worked as clinical research, clinical trials. So I am an immigrant. I am a mom. I am a wife.
A daughter, a very intelligent woman, and she lives in Montreal. So I'm in Ottawa. She lives in Montreal. For those of you who are not from Canada, we're about geographically 2 hours away. She lives in a fun city. I live in a very serious, boring city, I like to say. But it's good. I mean, I like Ottawa, but Montreal is way more fun because they have the French Canadians who are fun, in my opinion. Hence, I married one. Okay, I want to tell you this, guys. Lina is here because to me, she's an underdog. She came into a group of Reset. And when I first started discovering who's in my group, and you have to understand, while we did go to primary school and kindergarten, no, maybe not primary school and high school together, we graduated from the same year. I mean, it's been like 20 years. Jesus, I'm aging myself here. Plus 20 plus years since we graduated from university, and we haven't had any real contact since until just before 3 years ago when I had my baby and I realized you were in Ottawa, in Montreal. But before that, I couldn't have said, I know Lina. I know what's been of Lina over the last 20 years. We were not really close. So the first few weeks of me running Reset, I really want to get to have a deep understanding of my students. And so in the sessions, and it doesn't take a lot for me to get to know people and read people, as you guys have probably heard my clients say. I can smell people's first. I can read people like from easily with ease. But I've labeled Lina in my head as an underdog, now as an underdog, because she came in just identifying as like having so many things to work through and really kind of doubting if this could work. You had some hope that this could work for you, but you thought your list of things that you were working on were like so big that your confidence was unlikely to be gained in 12 weeks. And I call her an underdog. Like I said earlier, not only has she accomplished what I think she came to get, but so much more. And she did it quietly. She would just show up to the calls and be like, "Well, by the way, I did this," with needing so little extra coaching. You were just showing up to the calls. You were busy working. You worked at this so much. Like you were sending me emails from time to time, but for the most part, you were like, I only coach you in the calls when you showed up to the calls to be coached, and the rest you did on your own. And I think that it's so exciting, and I can't wait for people to hear your story. But so let's just walk them to the like from the beginning, and then we just walk through the process, and I'll help you sort of like piece things together if you need any help with that. But I want you to think of the moment you signed up, you made the payment, or even before that, that you were like, okay, I'm going to do this. I know you signed up for Detox and you messaged me and said, I signed up for Detox, which is $97. And you were like, baby steps for me. I just need to do these baby steps.
Yes,
What was going on in your life? What was
well,
happening? Like, why did you decide to do this?
I decided that I needed a change. I needed a change in my mindset. I needed a change because I was not feeling happy with myself. I was not feeling happy with the person I became. I was having a lot of self-doubt. Like I felt that I was not capable of doing things anymore. And I said, why? Why is this happening to me? Like I had a pattern in my head and I was overthinking a lot and I couldn't get out of that. So with COVID, well, the thing is that I had to stay home like all the time, and working from home has been a trigger for me. So I don't know, it was really hard to work from home and having my daughter. And like I was in charge of when she was sick, I was with her, but I was also working. So I was not able to do both things at the same time. But at the same time, I was not saying anything. I was not saying anything to my husband. I was not saying, okay, you know what? She's sick. You stay here.
Asking for help. Yes.
Yeah.
So your life had changed. Like you like suddenly, like all of us, working from home and also multitasking. I think that for parents, we got the hardest end of the stick because we were
Mm.
either homeschooling or like, I know you have a young child like mine. So like not so much homeschooling, we're just babysitting at this point, you know,
Yeah.
like a very young child, and then still working. And then like you said, it was a trigger for you to be home, working from home because you were not socializing, or what? Like
Yes.
obviously you were overworked.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I was not socializing with people because my job was just to file documents in a system.
Okay.
So
Wow.
I didn't have to interact with people. So at one point I said, this is worthless. Like, why am I working? Why am I working? This makes no sense. Makes no sense. I am not interacting with people. I am alone at home 8 hours. No, no, this is not the life I signed for. Like, I don't want that life. And on the other side, for example, my husband was always doing like going to the grocery store. And I was like, no, 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 no. I need to go out. I need to go out. But I was staying home. And he was like, no, you know what? I will go to the grocery store. And I was never saying, you know what? You stay here and I go. I need to go. I need to be out of the house. Like I was never like not expressing my needs. I was not expressing my needs. That's what happened.
Okay. So the result is you were feeling what feeling?
I was feeling alone. I was feeling anxious. I was feeling worthless. I was feeling without a purpose.
Oh my God. Yes, I remember. I remember. This is why I say you came in thinking like, I don't know if I'm going to get matched. And like, this is why I personally love having a life coach in my life, is because even when I have those moments of thinking, I don't know that I'm going to get anything out of this, but I'm going to give it a try, she holds belief for me. She's like, oh, you wait, you're going to get so much more. But it is hard for me to gauge somebody how much they're going to get when they are setting their mind to like, I don't know that I can get anything. But I knew for you, like like you're very capable, and you knew you're very capable. You felt stuck as well, right? Like you felt confused, like you were not sure the how do I get out of here. Okay, so you did my 5 day detox, did you?
Yes.
Yeah, you did my 5 day detox,
Mm-hmm.
which is I always do this before I open for reset. I think everybody who's gonna reset should really walk through detox. So I give that opportunity. Not everybody who's in reset does detox, but some do. And those that do better. So what was it like for you to go, like what made you think, okay, I'm gonna do detox?
I just needed help. I just needed to really sit in the mud
Mm-hmm. Sit in the mud.
and disconnect from my mental drama. I just needed to be with myself and really understand my feelings and understand me, and really going out to nature. And
Start all over.
yes,
So then the offer came in and you thought, it meets my budget. It's only 5 days at lunchtime. I can do this. Or what did you think? I'm putting words into your mouth.
yes. Well, I didn't think about it much.
Okay.
I just said, okay, I will do it and see how it goes.
And then what happened during those 5 days for you? What changed, if anything?
I don't really remember.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
But from there, you went into detox. So something must have happened that you felt, I want more of this.
Well, I felt good.
Mm-hmm.
I felt understood. I felt much better. Yeah.
So you were motivated to sign
Yes.
up for reset. Now I know because you told me you were like, I don't even know how I'm gonna pay for this, but you signed up, and your husband was like, how are we gonna pay for this? And you're like, back off. I'm going to figure it out. For those of you listening who don't know, reset is 2,000 Canadian dollars for 3 months. So it's about 700 a month if you break it into three payments, or it's just like solid 2,000. It's an investment. It's an investment. And if you've never invested in yourself, it's like you think about it. But I love that you were like, I don't have this like right away available to me, but I'm gonna do it. Like, what do you think? It's you're so logical, and I know you always, like you were saying, you overthink. This is something that any overthinker would have overthought to the point of maybe not taking action. What do you think motivated you to take action regardless?
Because I needed, that's all. And I said, you know what? At some point, I am the one that knows what I need, and I will pay it. And I received the tax return,
Yeah.
and I said, you know what? This is it. I didn't ask my husband, and he was like, then he said, like, Lina, what did you do? And I said, you know what? I did it.
And so 12 weeks have gone by. We just finished the program last week. Do you regret that investment?
No, not at all. Because it was an investment. I see it in both sense. It was an investment in you, and it was an investment in me. Like, it was a two ways investment. So
Tell me more. What do you mean?
yeah, well, I invested in Olga, in Olga's way, but I invested in me.
So you wanted to help Olga's way. You're like, I'm going to help Olga's way, but I'm
No,
also helping myself.
no, well, yeah, something like that.
So what happened to you throughout the last what has been your biggest wins? Let's tell people, what did you accomplish over the last 12 weeks? What did you think? What was your initial goal? What did you wanted to achieve? What did you come here for? And what ended up happening?
So I was struggling with my work. I was not happy, but I was not able to make a change.
Mhm.
Like, I knew I was able to do many roles, but I didn't want to move. I felt blocked. So then I said, I need to change. I need to do something more exciting, to gain more money, and I need help because I don't have the confidence.
Yes, and you had a lot of mental drama, if I recall. Like, I'm an immigrant. I didn't speak both
Yeah.
languages. Like, so where you're at, they speak both English and French, like in Ottawa. And so you felt like it wasn't good enough, either language. You felt like it wasn't good enough. Here she's trilingual and just like judging herself for not being trilingual enough.
Yeah.
And you felt a lot like, oh, because I'm an immigrant, I don't have connections, or like they
Hmm.
won't give me a better job. But you
Hmm.
were completely undervalued at your, not undervalued, but your capacity as a microbiologist and the jobs you've done before to having this job filing documents, like you said, it was like so minimum compared to what you're capable. And you knew that. But like you said, you didn't know, you didn't have the confidence to say, like, I can do a better job. And I don't know if you recall one of our calls, we were coaching, I was coaching you on, like, you had some resistance. You knew you wanted to do something better and greater, but then you were like, but who am I? to get something better. And like you had all these like reasons in your mind, excuses, mental drama about like why this wouldn't work for you. How do you over like okay, no, so tell people. So you wanted to work on your goal. That was your main goal.
Yeah, that was my main goal, to restart again working as a clinical research associate. Because when I worked as a clinical research associate in Colombia, I felt really satisfied. I felt that I accomplished something. I felt that I was able to move on. And so I said, I will restart from that part, because I have experience. I already have a lot of experience and I know I can do the job, but I was not feeling confident enough to do it. I said,
So
you know what? I will ask in the company, I will ask everybody, like I did a plan. So I was asking everybody, okay, what do you do? Okay, that's what you do. And what did you learn about it? They said, for example, budgets and contracts. No, I don't want to learn about it. Okay. The other person was saying, no, I like to learn about the regulatory stuff. And then I said, no, 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 that's something that I don't want. Like I was able to see among all the things, what I could do. And then I said, you know what? I will go for the clinical research associate that I was already in Colombia. And I have really strong basis. I really have a strong knowledge. I need to develop a lot of skills, like communication skills, because I have always considered myself as a shy person. Yeah, since I was in school.
yeah,
So
you're on the quiet side. So okay, one day you showed up to one of our calls and you're like, oh, by the way, I set up a meeting with my manager and with HR, and I've asked them to give me this specific position.
actually, it was with the director.
So you went up like all the way up.
But the thing is that I felt comfortable because 6 years ago, the current director made the interview for me. Like when
Oh,
I
the
started at
interview. Yeah.
Innovator, yeah. So I did the interview with her and she saw the potential I had. And she even offered me like 3 positions. She said, Lina, you can do this one and the other one. Which one would you like?
And what did you choose?
Like the worst one.
The lowest one, the one where you had the least amount of responsibility
Yeah.
because you had no confidence in yourself. Even though you
Ex-
knew you could do it, you're like, but what if I fail? So, okay, so hold on. You then went to meet with this person. Where did you muster how did you get from like, I don't know that I can do anything. I'm going to be doing this job forever, even though I'm unhappy, to like, hold on, I'm going to call up the director. I'm going to meet with the director and tell her I want a new job and take it or I leave. You essentially gave an ultimatum. I either get paid more, I either use my skills more, or I'm out of here. How
yeah.
did you do that? Because somebody who's like not confident listening to this would be like, yeah. And she says she was not confident. That's such a massive confident act. I even was shocked when you shared that. I'm like, what did you do? That's amazing. Like, I was so excited for you. What happened? Like, what happened internally? How did you figure, like, how did that confidence, like, how did you build the confidence to do that?
I started doing the thought work
Mm-hmm. Using
and
the tools.
changing my thoughts in more positive thoughts, because I have always had like more negative to realistic thoughts.
Yeah.
So when I started thinking positive, like it was like, boom, I can do it all. So I felt comfortable. I felt confident. And I said, you know what? If they say no, it's okay. I tried. Like, it doesn't matter.
You were okay failing at this
Yes.
attempt.
Yes.
You became confident enough to fail. When she does thought work and thought errors, it's a whole section of reset your mindset. And it's how we begin to change the patterns of thought. And you're saying positive, you start to think positively about yourself. You're starting to view
Mm.
yourself under a different light. And that is what this process walks people through. It's less about like, I guess the result is positivity because it will impact you in positive ways, but we become used to thinking differently. How can I think of this differently? How can I think like instead of thinking, who am I to this job? What if I held a different thought about my abilities? And suddenly, like you will arrive to places like Lina did, where she was okay asking, even if the answer was no, you're not getting it, that was worth a process worth going through.
Yeah, and actually, I did an interview for another position. It was a site recruitment coordinator position. And then I was able to read the manager from that position. And then I said, you know what? She's not the manager I would like to work with. So I said, sorry. I talked to HR and I said, no, I prefer to go to the position that I was asking before, the in-house CRA position.
And if I understand correctly, that was not a position that existed. They created it for you.
Yeah, it's a position that it doesn't exist. But I told them, I cannot travel because, well, I have a daughter and she's really important for me. So I don't want to travel like a lot, going to monitoring visits and monitoring the sites. So they said, it's okay if you go to the sites that are really close to your house. And I said, okay, well, Saint Jerome is okay and Drummondville is okay. So they told me, you need to speak French. And then I said, oh my God. Okay, but it's only one site or two sites. I will do my best. I said, it's not that much. I can do it. I can handle it. I live here. So at some point, I have to deal with French.
Yes, you have to learn it, and you have. So that's good.
Yeah.
Okay. So then you went from, I don't know how I'm going to do life. I have a lot of anxiety. I don't love my job. I'm too responsible. I have too many responsibilities. Not even communicating to your husband about what would have liked. Signed up for this program. Didn't tell your husband either. I'm just going to do this. At the time, you felt like, how am I going to pay for this? And then you got income tax return. So I guess you used it. 12 weeks. What else has happened in these 12 weeks that you didn't anticipate? Like, first of all, are you more confident? Obviously, showing the results you are.
Yes. I started going to the gym again. I started prioritizing myself. It's something that when you become a mom is harder for women, I guess, because we are always focusing our attention in the kid, the child, okay, but our needs are putting down. So I started thinking about me, about my well-being. What do I like? I like Zumba classes. Okay, let's go to Zumba classes. I like bootcamp classes. Okay, let's go to bootcamp classes. Let's go to Hatha yoga. Okay, Hatha yoga. Like I wanted to experience more different sports and things. Like I wanted to have fun. I even went for climbing.
Mountain
This
climbing?
no, it's an indoor, like
Yeah.
I have never done it and I have always wanted to do it. And it was awesome. Like I went with my husband, with my daughter, and they watched me and I was climbing. And I noticed that I have something to work on, that is letting things go. Like when I was climbing and then when I had to go, like I had to practice a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot. But it's part of life, and I really enjoy, like,
Are you having more fun?
yes.
How, when you said I'm prioritizing myself, what does that look like? So I hear you like creating time to go out for sports. What else?
For example, if I feel tired, I communicate it. I feel tired. And then I ask my husband, okay, what are we going to do? Because I feel really tired. Okay, we have to, I don't know, hire somebody and somebody will take care of Luisa while we rest for a little bit. Or like we are finding ways now to have time for each one.
That's amazing.
Actually, it was because I saw something that you posted that you were like looking for a nanny, and I said, I can do that too.
Yes. Yes, you can. This is the best thing.
Yeah, and I was not seeing that. I was not seeing that it's really important to have fun with your husband. Like, it's really important to go out as a couple again and to cultivate that relationship again. I was not seeing that.
So is your marriage today better than 12 weeks ago?
Yes, of course.
Has your husband noticed any differences in you since you joined Reset?
I think so, but I have never asked.
Well, he's seen you go get a job,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
yeah. No, he said, Lina, you did it. Wow. And then he's really coaching me too in saying, it's a job. It's something that you are not forced to do forever if
Like,
you don't want. Because I was saying to him, I need to find something where I don't have to think that much because sometimes I really get very stressed.
mhm,
So I said, you know what? I would like to do a course of muscle
mhm.
and he said, it's okay. We plan, we organize, and then we save the money. And if you want to do it just because you want to do it, it's okay. It's okay. It's like now he understands that for me, it's important to do things not only for a purpose of getting a lot of money and no, it's to
For
have
fun.
fun. Yeah.
And that's important. And that brings you as a better partner to the relationship, as I'm sure he's experiencing now.
Yes.
And that's why I recently released a podcast episode on why people don't see results. And one of the main obstacles I find with women is that if our husbands don't agree with us investing in A, B, and or C, whatever it is, that we just postpone it and we just get frustrated maybe with them, like, I wish you would see it. But really, it's our job to even verbalize to them why this matters so much to us. Like when I
Mm.
told my husband how much I was going to invest in my own coach, he was, oh my God, what is she going to give you gold at the end of this? Like, it's so much money. And I was like, this is like, I was so excited and so into it. Like, I wasn't asking him, like, this is what I'm doing. I'm utilizing my funds to do this. And I'm lucky I can do that, that I have that. But nonetheless, it was a big decision. It's a lot of money. And I've realized the difference between me spending that much money that I now spend on my coach versus me spending the $5,000 I spent 6 years ago on my first coach. And it was Chris who pushed me to it. He's like, this is good. This is good for your blah, blah, blah. Like, you need to do this. And I was like, okay, he's telling me I need to do this. I'm just going to spend that much. I thought it was crazy to spend $5,000 in coaching. Crazy. I thought this was like, because I had never been coached before. So I hadn't discovered the value of coaching. But, anyways, I now see, and like I used to be this woman who used to be like, well, if Chris thinks that Zumba is too expensive, I just won't do it. It was almost like I was just waiting for somebody to just disagree a tiny little bit on why spending money for myself wasn't that important. And I wouldn't even spend the time explaining. Like, non negotiables for me are my personal trainer, going to yoga. Like, those are non negotiables that I don't care who might slightly disagree because who I show up to in this world when I get to do those things, everybody benefits from.
Yes.
Everybody, right?
Mhm.
And I think that's one of the obstacles people don't see results, women specific. And I mean, I've had male clients and my wife doesn't think I should be investing in this. Okay. Let her decide for your well being, right? Like, that's fine, no problem. But we deal with the results of that.
And that's something that when I came here to Canada, I did what most immigrant women do. Like they forget about themselves. Like, and for example, in my case, I was always managing the money in Colombia. I was always the one that was managing our money, actually, my money. And Jorge was managing his money. So when we came to Canada, we started a joint account. And that for me was not working. That was not working. No, not at all. It didn't work. So now we have a joint account for the house. We have separated accounts in another bank. Like now it works. Now it works because I know I am in control of my money.
Your money, it's so important. Yeah.
I know what I have. I know what I can't spend. Like, yeah, because before I was not a I didn't
You
have
don't
the
have a
whole picture.
concept. Exactly. But so, like, what I wanted to highlight here is that you now are better communicator
Yes.
of why this matters to you. And so for your husband to get on board is like 100 times easier because he's like, okay, we'll talk about it. Like what he was telling you, we'll plan, we'll save if that's what you want to do. Like sometimes, like I know my husband makes more money than I make. So sometimes if I want to invest in something like that is really big, like my coach, I might have to say, by the way, that means that some months I might not be able to like contribute a lot. And are you okay with that if that was the case, right? Like, can we work through this? Or like, I want to take this other training, a further training on life coaching. And I know how much that is and how much more extra time. So it's always a consultation, but he understands how deeply excited I get about like even learning more coaching tools that he's like, well, we're going to make it work. But for those listening, I think we fail at what Lina was saying, prioritizing ourselves seeing the need or the importance of doing the things that, like, whether that's Zumba or going out for a night out with your friends or taking a weekend away from your family, whatever that priority might be for you. For us, we lack seeing the priority ourselves, and therefore we can't express it properly to those around us
At all levels.
at all levels. Yeah. So I think this is so important. And I know for a fact for me, my husband was far more liberal on like, let's find somebody who helps us care for Mateo. So you get to go to the gym and I get to do another thing. And I was so close off in my brain that it was always one of us taking care of our baby. I couldn't factor in that both of us will not be home. Each of us will be doing something that we want to do. And I would be mad at him for even suggesting that we had a nanny, you know? And then I did it. I'm like, oh, wait, could it be that there are moments where me going to yoga doesn't signify for Chris to like, oh, now I can't go to the gym because, she's at yoga. But there could be moments, not every moment, but there could be moments where, okay, you go to the gym, I go to yoga, like we were back single because Mateo is playing dinosaurs with his favorite nanny, for an hour. So that cost of the nanny is so insignificant to what is giving our marriage.
Yeah, happiness.
Yeah.
You're happy.
Okay. So there was like, I don't know if you recall all the things you said that you've gained from being in Reset, but I really would love for you to spell them out. So you got a new job, you're getting paid more.
Yes. I am now having fun.
I love it.
I am now asking for help when I need it. I am now even having a better sex life.
Oh my God, I'm going to I was hoping you would say that. I'm so happy. Guys, for those of you listening, why is it I was hoping she would say that? It's not because I'm a creep. I'm like, Reset gives better sex to anybody. But because it was in the form feedback. And I know you're probably not the only one that when she feels more confident, the relationship with the husband improves at all levels. I've seen this. I've had husbands message me. Thank you. Like, I've had clients whose husbands were completely opposed to the idea of their wives spending any money at all on coaching, to them being like, never stop coaching with Olga. Or like, I think you need to call Olga right now and consult this because she'll be on my side. Husbands often feel that I'm on their side because I never ask my client, let's work on your husband's issues. I'm always like, let's work on your issues about your husband's issues. So the work is always on my client. What about your anxiety? Where are you at with your anxiety?
Well, as I am transitioning right now from one position to the other position, well, yeah, my anxiety has increased a little bit.
Yeah.
But now I am able to cope with it.
Yes.
For example, I was feeling anxious during the night, but I was able to calm myself and say, you know what, breathe and relax and enjoy. And yeah.
Do you find that Reset Your Mindset formula, the steps are allowing you to process anxiety better? That you have
Yes,
like a concrete steps that you know what to do?
yes. And the mindful
Mindfulness?
toolbox, yeah,
Yeah,
mindfulness toolbox, it's really good. It's really good. So that's the one that I am using. And I am also journaling every night
perfect.
because I didn't know it was so important to journal, because then you have everything clear in your head and you say, okay, this is what I want. This is what I want. Okay, this is what I don't want. And then you're able to discuss it and say it and
It's
get
so
to
much
the
more clear.
agreement.
So
Uh-huh.
you were not journaling before you started Reset Your Mindset?
Well, I was writing something in a book,
Okay.
like in a notebook,
Yeah.
but the tool that you gave me, like
Yeah.
the workbook, really makes me think about it and write it down. And I'm slow, like I'm going slowly because sometimes when I do a lot, it's like, no, 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 this is too much. But I go at my own pace, like, and it's okay.
Well, one of the things I teach inside becoming the CEO of your own life is the
Mhm.
concept of less is more, because I believe less is more. We're so much more productive when we're doing less. When we're trying to accomplish too much, too fast, we
Mhm.
miss out in the process and in the journey and in the happiness. So one of the things you said that you're happy now, I promise you, it also has to do with doing less, to being slowly, to slow, like to giving yourself permission to, I'm gonna slowly. And I kind of chuckle when you said, I'm just slowly making progress, because you've done so much more than most people in 12 weeks. Like, you
Yeah.
muster up the confidence to, like, I don't know if you realize how big of a deal that is.
Yeah.
Like, I think you minimize it a bit. Like, you're like, yeah, I just met with her because I felt comfortable. Yeah, but you felt so not comfortable 12 weeks ago.
Yeah.
12 weeks ago
Yes.
you were like, you would look at me and say, how did you do these things? Like,
Yeah. No. And
almost in disbelief. Like, is it
mhm.
even, are you made out of like the same things I'm made out of? Are you human, or are you like partially, like, I don't know, from Mars or another planet? Because how
No.
did you get to do the things? And I was like, you can do it too, Lina. And you blew your own mind. Like, you blew my mind. It was amazing to see you.
One of the wins was that I went to One Woman with you.
Yeah.
That
Toronto.
was one win because I have always felt that driving was my weakness, like
Uh-huh.
driving.
Yeah.
I was very scared when I started driving, and driving here in Canada, well, it's different. And yeah. So it was a challenge. Like I was able to set a challenge. Okay, I will go to One Woman. And actually, my motivation was really because you were there. So I
I
said,
love you.
okay,
Thank
I'll
you.
go there. Like I needed something to really move myself to say, yeah, okay, I did it. Super. Like,
So let's tell people about that. I am a professional speaker, and I was invited to speak at a conference in Toronto. It's called, company is called One Women. The organization is called One Women. And the subject of the conference was fearless women. And so we were there to tell stories and inspire and empower other women. And Lina and I both live far from Toronto. For me, it's a 5 hour, if I was to drive, it would be a 5 hour drive. For you, it's like what?
6.
6 hours. 6 hour drive. And she just explained how she wouldn't have, like, I flew to Toronto. Obviously, it was work for me. So I flew 45 minutes, back and forth. I was also on a weekend. So I preserved so much of my weekends to my family. But this was worth that because I was going to be sharing my story with other women that I wanted to feel empowered. Lina saw this was happening, and she bought a ticket and drove 6 hours to Toronto to be there when she had already had anxiety about driving. She had no confidence that she could do it. In Toronto is one of our largest cities. It's busy. There is traffic. There is like highways. You know, for somebody who's not a like very confident driver, I can see how that would have felt really challenging.
They speed a lot.
They're fast drivers. I would drive in Toronto. I am a really fast driver, but I can be bad. Like, and I'm confident. Like, I think I can be a fast driver because I'm so confident on the wheel. I love, but I also drive like a truck. Like, I like big truck. Get out of my way. I'm a truck driver. Not really. I have an SUV, but I like to feel like. Anyways, it's not about me. You made it there. Okay, so I was your motivation. You're like, okay, I'm gonna see Olga, but also you challenge yourself to do
Yeah,
that.
because I didn't want to go alone. So I said, okay, I will go with my sister. She doesn't drive.
Right.
She doesn't pay attention to ways. She doesn't really guide me. So yeah, she will be company because we will talk together, but that's all.
You were on the wheel and you made it.
Yeah, and I made it.
What did that make you feel to know that you like, obviously you call it a win, so
That I was capable, that I was able to travel, to do it by myself. And that for me was a win just because of that, because I was capable.
you book a hotel, stay the night, and then drove back. So you did this
Yes.
12-hour drive.
Yeah.
And like, now, where's your anxiety of driving at?
No, now I feel comfortable driving. And yeah, if I have to drive by myself long distances, I know I can make it. So for me, it's really not an issue now.
And this is what I mean. You took on so much more. Now, you were doing a lot of work, Lina. So why don't you tell people, how did you like? There's been other guests on the podcast that talk about how they did their own 12 weeks of the program. and some took notes while watching videos. I already showed up to the calls. Like they have a different system. What did you do? What do you think you did that was so that made you be so successful? Like you grasped the concepts and you did so much work on your own.
Mm, I listened to the podcast.
Okay.
I committed to do the mindful toolbox every day.
Mhm.
I showed up for the meetings.
The calls, yeah.
Before the meetings, I went to the member vault and watched the videos. Like I did everything that you said. Like,
You follow all the steps.
yeah, I followed all the steps.
What do you think helped you the most from all the things you did? I mean, obviously, what you're experiencing today are the results of all of that compound effect. What would be the single most important thing that you've done that caused the most amount of impact, you think?
I was able to speak in front of a lot of women that I didn't know.
Yeah, so you identify as a shy human and you don't know these leaders, you're in a group setting
Yeah.
in another
So
language. How was that for you?
stressful, weird, but I was capable. I was listening to other stories, other life stories, and that made me realize, okay, my life is okay. Because wow, there are stories that chapeau.
Yeah,
They have to really work on many things. So yeah, that made me see my life in a different perspective.
that's the beauty of group. So either because you think, oh my God, I've got my issues are nothing. What am I complaining about? I'm so grateful for all what I have. And sometimes because you think your issues, like you came in thinking your issues were so big, that there
Yeah.
was going to be such a little hope. And sometimes by being in a group, you're like, oh, she has my issues too. Am I normal? This is amazing. Am I not the only person who thinks and feels this way? Just seeing ourselves in others also is so helpful.
Yes. Sometimes I was absorbing the energy
Yeah.
and it was difficult for me to feel balanced,
Yeah.
but it was okay.
So how did you do that? How did you overcome that? And how did you come back to the goals and be like, yeah, I can handle this?
I set boundaries and I said, okay, it's their life. This is my life. And this is what I want. This is what I will do. And I
Amazing.
started doing a plan. And yeah,
So boundaries is actually something that we talk about inside Reset and we work on it. Do you feel that helped you?
yeah, I had a misconception of boundaries. Like, I don't know why I was thinking that boundaries were not good when
Most of us
actually,
think that way. Yeah, we have a misconception.
well, it's the opposite. I have to speak up. I have to say what I'm feeling. I have to express my anger. I have to express my sadness, my joy. Like it's something that I owe to myself. I have to express myself. And if somebody is happy or not with that, well,
They can deal with their own emotions, and that's part of boundaries, right?
mhm,
Like not
mhm.
fixing people's emotions. Love it. Lina, so in like a few words, how would you describe your growth over the last 12 weeks?
I became a different person. I became a much confident woman, a much accountable woman. Now I know what I need. And I made a lot of changes in my personal life and I can make a plan, I can continue. So I want to become a CEO of my own life, but I have to save money for that. So
I love that Lina already started signing up all of her emails as Lina Enau, CEO. She's like, I'm going to be the CEO of my own life and I'm signing up as the CEO of my own life. I love it.
so that's my second goal. So I want to be in your program of becoming the CEO of my own life, but yeah, I need to save money for.
Yes, that's a full year. That's a full year commitment. Who will you think should be joining Reset? Who will you say, like, if you're going through this, come join Reset? Who do you think will benefit from taking Reset?
Everybody, every every woman that wants to achieve goals, that wants to have fun, to see life in a different perspective, to really enjoy what she's doing.
And what do you have to say to somebody who's sitting where you were sitting 12 weeks ago, feeling a little bit hopeless, feeling like maybe she can't afford help, that she wouldn't even know where to start, that she has too many issues to even begin to think about how to get over them, and who doesn't feel good enough, like enough, confident, what will you have to say to that person?
That you're more capable than what you think, that you can organize yourself, that you are in control of your emotions, you are in control of your actions. So you're the one that has to work for that.
You've got the answers, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah. Nobody else can do the job for you. It's only you.
Only you. Lina, thank you so much for coming to the podcast. I enjoyed having you in Reset. I look forward to seeing you and becoming the CEO of your own life soon. And I am sincerely so proud of what you've accomplished. Like in 12 short weeks. It feels like I've coached you for a year, given like if we were to look at the results, like, oh yeah, what you coached for 12 weeks and you got so much out of it. And you've got a plan in place and you are like now enjoying like the fruits of the seeds that you planted. So a huge congrats to you because I know the hard work that you've put towards this. Enjoy it, you know, sit with it. The opposite of sitting in the mud, sit in the garden because you
Yeah.
have cultivated such a beautiful garden. So
Thank you,
thank you.
Olga.
Thank you for coming. And I can't wait to see what else do you do.
Yeah,
All of
me
what you
too. I'll let you know.
Thank you. Thank you. See you guys next Monday. Hey, Olga here. And I'm here to invite you to join me in 5 days of taking you from self critical to self confident by changing the way you speak to yourself. Your inner dialogue has everything to do with your confidence, whether you have it or you don't. And it all comes back to how we perceive ourselves and to the blockages that we might have internally to finally accept and value who we are as we are now. I have a very useful strategy that has been known to help many make that shift from critical to confident. And I want to share that invitation with you. So the waiting list is now open. You can go ahead and add your name. And by being in the waiting list, you get to be the first one notified when I open for registration. Also, you get some extra perks. So head over to the show notes, sign up for the waiting list, detox the mind. Talk to you guys soon.